Wet weather squarely in the forecast this afternoon in Santa Clara, California at Levi's Stadium. Today it's week 4, and we've got what should be a great one here, as it'll be the Seattle Seahawks taking on the San Francisco 49ers. Fall is in the air, and the NFL season is in full swing, and we're underway here in Week 4. And that one not returnable. It's over the back line of the end zone, so that's going to be spotted up at the 30-yard line. Ball up to the 35 now as they come up on 1st and 10.
Let's go. 19, 18. Three. Chop alert. Ready.
They'll run. Here's Devon Achane. And he is met at the line of scrimmage, and he goes down right there. It'll go as a loss of a yard on the game's first play. 2nd down.
Hey, check that. Street.
34-yard line.
Come on. Hey. Ready.
He'll drop to throw. Olave holds it in. So 5 yards here, 5 on the play. And now 3rd down and 6 to go. I think defensively you're okay with that. Here in the first quarter, he's going to get some catches, but they rallied to him quickly.
And that's what you count on, and I like what you just said. First quarter, can you do it all game long? They catch it, you tackle them, they go down on the spot. Because when you're able to do that and you don't give up big chunks of yardage after the catch, now you put the offense in a position where every series they have to work hard to pick up first downs, and you tend to stall them out when you do that.
And he is going to have a Seahawks first down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion. Well, on 3rd down, he wanted to go to one of his most dependable targets, and that's who he found, his tight end there, to pick up the first, Charles.
And you use the proper word there, dependable, and sometimes spectacular, because tight ends nowadays, they can do it all. But they're the guys you trust, especially across the middle of the field where there's traffic. He delivers, and they pick up nice yardage.
Just a yard on the first down carry, so it's 2nd and 9. You look at this Niner defense. They come into this one 9th in the NFL against the run.
Now if they could just get their pass defense in line, this unit would be really, really strong. And remember the conversation with the defensive coordinator? He wants them to rush the passer better. He wants to see the quarterback on the ground. They've got to create some sacks.
And he said it starts early and often. We'll see if they can get to him. And that'll fall incomplete. He was hit just as he let that go. And now it's 3rd down.
I think we'll see more of them trying to get him the football out of the backfield. They love what he can do in open space, and they believe that he creates mismatches they can exploit.
Here we go. 60 by 6.
Out of the gun now on 3rd down. As it complete to Jackson Smith and Jigba. And he is out of bounds, but not before he's inside the 30. The Seahawks moving pretty well through the air. Another first down. We got to like what you're seeing from this offense here on the first drive. A nice, sustained series to begin the game that will continue after picking up another first there.
Would you say the word methodical comes to mind? I love the execution. I love what they're doing on this drive. They're controlling the ball, controlling the game, controlling the clock.
2 yards the loss, 2nd and 12.
This defense is a difficult one to prepare for, one of the best in the league. They'll come at you from all angles, and they did a nice job there stopping him for a loss.
A small bit of adversity here on what's been a strong drive as they come up 2nd and 12.
18 Cardinal.
From the shotgun now, here's an inside give. And he'll lose yardage. Brought down at the 32. That's a big loss of 3, and it brings up 3rd down.
I like the idea to mix it up from time to time because, let's face it, you can't be predictable. But the execution was a little lacking on this one, right? They might want to go back to the drawing board with that call.
Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. Oh, this will be incomplete. The rush rush gets home just as he was letting that go. That could have been worse. Instead, it's 4th down. And his kick is indeed good. And the Seahawks grab a 3-0 lead. They were probably hoping to get him a little bit closer for a shorter field goal, but he was able to get it done from deep.
Nice little tester for him to begin things, huh? I think he was open for a little bit more of a chip shot. Instead, they made him stretch it out a little bit, but he's got to feel great now that he put it through the pipes.
35-yard line.
Looking to put a drive together.
Let's go.
A first carry here for Jordan James. That's a good acceleration there as he's across midfield to the 48-yard line. Successful start to the drive, 17 yards, and moves the sticks. He was well over 100 yards last week. He told us this week, a little ambitious, said he wants to hit that 200 mark. We'll see.
Makes sense, though, doesn't it? Have we ever run into a running back that had a great game the week before that didn't think that's just going to naturally continue? Just make sure you feed me the football. And that's what they're all about. Continuity, rhythm, number of carries. Just keep giving it to them.
The Niners at 3-0 here in the month of September. They coming on a pretty good roll here. Winners of 3 straight.
And I thought that they played pretty well last week. Their execution, their discipline, their resilience, all on display in that victory.
Now a 2nd and 10.
Here we go. 70 Lions.
On the ground, it's James. And he's corralled, but not before getting it inside the 35. 15 for the Niners there and a first down. 2 carries for him now on the opening drive, both for good yardage.
And based on film study, they thought that there was a chance to spring him more than once for some pretty good yardage in this game.
Right back to him on first down. And he maneuvers up the middle for 3. And it's 2nd down.
And that was a quality play to start a new set of downs. That was simply an offensive line winning the battle up front and winning in a big way and giving their guy in the backfield a nice lane to hit.
And they'll work from the 29 on 2nd and 6. A give up the middle, Hubbard. And finally down he goes as they work it inside the 10 to the 7. That good for 22 and a first down. He had his eyes on the end zone once he hit the secondary, but they're finally able to slow him down.
Yeah, and I've got to look at this one from the defensive point of view. You just mentioned finally able to slow him down. They've got to figure out a way to make that at the point of attack, at the line of scrimmage, because once he gets through, he's shredding them.
And inside the 5 here before he's out of bounds, right at the 3.
And there's a completion to the tight end. And look at the size of these players nowadays. At that spot, 6'4", 6'5", and up. A lot of guys used to be basketball players, somehow came back to football. And that's really good for the game of football. You're getting better athleticism, great hand-eye coordination, guys who know how to control their bodies when they run their routes.
It'll be a loss of a full 3 yards there, and it also brings up 3rd down.
That was well played there defensively. 2 tight ends in the formation, which essentially gave them 7 blockers up front. Hard to imagine with all that size and beef that they could let a tackler through, but that's exactly what happened. A loss resulted.
They'll try and throw. Here's Penix. And he hauls it in the end zone. Touchdown, San Francisco. Cade Otton, his 2nd touchdown on the season. And the 49ers have answered that early field goal to take a first-quarter lead. A good hold in these wet conditions. The point after is up and good. And that makes it a 7-3 lead. And that is over the back line of the end zone. It's a touchback. And they'll bring this out to the 35-yard line. Here's the Seattle offense ready to get this drive underway. Early on, you know, Charles, every game could be called a measuring stick game, but I think when it comes within your division like this, it's a measuring stick game with a little extra intrigue.
I would agree with that totally because all division games have a little extra to them. But I like where this game is situated because at this stage of the season, it has that little extra juice, but at the same time, it's not a make or break if this were, let's say, week 15, 16, somewhere in that neighborhood.
And they'll wind up getting this to the 37, gain of 9. Now, look, that wasn't a huge gain, but those are the types of carries I think they were missing in their loss last week. They couldn't get him going on the ground.
Did you get the same feeling I did during our meetings, that they kind of regretted that he didn't touch the ball?
Absolutely.
You know, hey, he should have touched it more last week. They weren't going to make that same mistake, and they've taken care of that early.
So he stopped for no gain. And that's going to make it third down and less than a yard.
It's now third and less than a yard.
After 1, 7-3 the score on EA Sports. Seahawk football here to start quarter number 2. As they've got it with a third down and less than a yard.
Come on.
He'll look to throw. To the sideline and incomplete.
So much of this game is about leverage. We always talk about low man wins in the trenches. Well, it's like that in just about every position. And sometimes, if you lose that leverage and you're losing the battle, just jump up at the line of scrimmage and try and bat the ball away. And that's exactly what happened there.
And this will be a long field goal if the skies were clear. But here in the rain and the elements, they'll go for it on 4th.
19, Tiger, 19.
Now they'll throw here out of the gun. Work in the middle of the field, and he's got a man complete. How about them biting off 15 yards there on the 4th down attempt and keeping the drive alive?
And that's a big pickup of a first down. And you know that all week, both sides of the ball, offense and defense, are going through every situation. And in this case, the offensive guys had the right play dialed up because defensively, you work on 4th down situations as well.
And deflating for the defense. They can't get the stop here. So after the conversion on 4th, here's 1st and 10 just outside of the red zone. Oh, he's got a man wide open, complete. Give him 9 there on the first down completion.
Nice rhythm throw there on first down. He located his tight end, made a nice easy pitch and catch.
Hoping he can break a tackle or two. Wasn't able to do that there, but still good yardage.
Ready?
Now a first carry for their fullback. And he's able to work it here to the 8-yard line. 4 yards on the play, and that leads to the 1st and goal.
Let's face it, you always want a team full of guys who can get you first downs and big plays of all styles, but you've got to have a big man. You can just turn and hand it to, and he can be dependable in picking up first downs.
Pat the street. Ready? 60 bites.
Now here's a little touch pass as they tap it quickly to their receiver. And he maneuvers his way down to the 3-yard line. 5 yards, a good run there, and now 2nd and goal.
That's a nice job there defensively, being able to diagnose that little touch pass. They saw it coming, converged on it before he could get much out of it.
Pat the 60. Go.
Achane. He is going nowhere in a hurry as he is going to lose yardage here in a big way. They lost 4 there, and it's 3rd down.
And now 3rd and goal coming up, the loss on 2nd down. That just means this crowd's going to get even louder, and they'll get a little bit of extra help from the defenders as they exhort them to join them in the effort.
Hop 70, hop.
They'll look to throw on 3rd and goal. And he's got it. Caught in the end zone for the Seahawk touchdown. A 7-yard touchdown grab. And the Seahawks have retaken the lead. extra point right down the middle. And the lead is now 10-7.
49ers 7.
The kick unit for the Seahawks out there on the field, and we are ready to rock. And they'll let that one go as it skips through the back of the end zone for a touchback.
At their own 35-yard line.
The 49er offense set to get this drive underway. And Charles, these early season in-division games are always interesting because you're still kind of figuring yourself out, but you want to know as much as you can about the opponent, especially when it's a division matchup. So I'm curious to see how the rest of this one plays out.
Yeah, that's a good point because they're still trying to work things out. They don't know everything about their own team, let alone trying to figure out their opponent. But you've got to do both on the fly, don't you? While the game's being played, figure it out both ways and try and find a way to win.
And this is incomplete.
I certainly thought he had an open look beyond the first down marker to his receiver, but they just couldn't connect, and that will send them back to the drawing board.
2nd and 10. Here's James. And he's going to be met at about the 43. 4 yards the gain, and it'll bring up a 3rd down.
That 2nd down play call was not to pick up the 1st down. It was to accomplish what they did, to get them into a manageable 3rd down because they had incompletion on 1st down, so they were behind the sticks, so to speak. They needed to make up some ground, and they did.
And the line to gain here is the 37 on 3rd down. Here's Penix. And the Seahawks defense gets to him, and they bring him down. Jonathan Grenard in there to get him for a loss of 9 yards, and that also leads to 4th down. On is the punter Scott here as he gets this one away. And you can't do it much better than that. This ball kicks out of bounds at the 4-yard line.
Let's go old school there. That's absolutely a great coffin corner punt. Someone's put some time in working on that, hasn't it?
Seems like every year these guys get better and better. It's amazing how they can command that football through the air.
Yeah, they used to actually practice with hula hoops where they place them and try and put them there. Now a lot of guys use barrels on the sidelines to try and put the football in one.
Coming to the line here to begin their next drive, the Seahawks offense. They'll try and start this drive in the air. And his throw here is incomplete.
I think he's got to be careful not to force anything into coverage right there. There weren't really any throwing lanes, but the best part for him, he's got 2nd and 3rd down to fall back on.
Here's 2nd and 10. Back to throw here. And this time he's got the hookup. It's complete. And mark him down way up close to the 40 at the 39. It's a gain of 35.
We spent a lot of time talking about what's going on the field. How about off the field with the evaluation? And they spent a lot of time saying, we've got to get a rookie in here who has big playability. And that's exactly what we're seeing here early in his career.
Drafted him in the spring. Here he is early in the fall making an impact.
Ready.
Now Achane on 1st and 10. And he takes this one down almost all the way to the 30. All told, it's an even 30 and a 1st down.
Good, strong, explosive run that started inside, which means you've got to control those defensive linemen, the defensive tackles, the nose guards. Those guys have to be controlled. How about the offensive line, the job they just did?
Yeah, key that A-gap usually on those runs, right?
That's where it all starts because everyone wants to kind of control that area. It disrupts things from the defensive side and the offensive side. As we just saw, it opens up possibilities.
Here we go. Cowboy 80. Let's go.
On 1st down, he'll drop to throw. Looking right side, and it's intercepted. And the Niners are going to have the football here at their own 18-yard line. CD, I know it's just his second year in the league as a quarterback, but that's going to be one when he flips on the tape. He's like, I shouldn't have thrown that ball.
No doubt about it, and his coaching staff will be emphatic about he shouldn't have thrown that ball. But remember, second year, as you noted, on-the-job training. So
look at this, middle of the field, a breakaway. He's to the 10. Touchdown, 49ers. Jordan James with his 6th rushing touchdown on the year. And the Niners are able to strike quickly here as they are in for 6. Fairbairn good with the extra point. And the lead is now 14-10.
Seahawks 10.
The 49ers ready to kick it away, and here we go. And the tackle going to be made right there at the 25-yard line. Here's the Seattle offense ready to get this drive underway.
But not an ideal way to end their previous drive. They threw the interception, Charles, after they had built up some momentum. They were moving the football, but something to at least build on for this offense as they run back out here.
Yeah, you're right about that. Up until that last play, everything was working pretty well for this offense, gaining chunks of yardage, getting first downs, really making a push for the end zone, and looked like they had a nice rhythm going. Now you got to have a short memory here. Don't focus on the interception. Focus on what came before it and get back to it.
So from the 36 now, 1st and 10. They give to Achane on the option. And he's swallowed up right near the line of scrimmage. Call it no gain on the play, and it'll be 2nd down.
And the big fella stuffed that one up in a big way. I think doubling him has to be a priority because you can't move up to the next level if you don't take care of him first.
Let's go now. 19 Tiger, 19 Tiger. Top low 18.
Now he'll look to throw here on 2nd and 10.
This one thrown underneath.
And now the ball's out. Fumble near midfield.
And this ball recovered by the offense, but remember, they cannot advance it here in the final 2 minutes of the half. So this will be blown dead, and it'll come back to the spot of the fumble.
On the set.
They'll look to throw now on 1st down.
Over the middle, finding Smith and Jigba.
Now the Seahawks going to use the first of their timeouts.
So as they talk it over, we step aside.
2nd and 8 at their 49-yard line.
This is 2nd and 8.
Lion. Let's go. Ready.
Now back to throw.
They set up the screen. Achane has it.
Shifts past him. And he'll cross over out of bounds right at the 25. Now the Seahawks call the 2nd of their 3 timeouts.
So as they talk it over, we step aside.
1st and 10 at the 25-yard line.
Here we go. Set. Cougar 19. 19 Lion. Let's go.
They'll look to throw again.
And that nearly intercepted. Well, the free safety roaming into position almost had it, but it's 2nd down.
Well, nearly another interception there. That would have been 2 drives in a row with a pick. He's got to start taking care of the ball way better than what we're seeing.
Interestingly, that throw was probably worse than the one he threw the interception on last drive, but fell incomplete. Under pressure, and he'll go down. Sacked back at the 31. Credit the sack to Fred Warner.
And another long drive from the offense, but the defense is denying them the end zone. Nothing to show for the last drive offensively. They can't come away empty-handed again.
Oh, it's intercepted. A drive killer there. Picked off by Fred Warner. And the 49ers are going to get the football here as he gets this up past the 20-yard line.
The Niners take over 1st and 10. At their own 21-yard line.
The San Francisco offense ready to start their next drive. And with time quickly fading here in the second quarter, not sure how aggressively, offensively they want to play this.
I think we'll find out just how much they trust their guys in this situation if they decide to take a shot.
The 49ers now going to use the first of their timeouts, as they'll stop it with 13 seconds to play in half number one. A big hitter to start the drive has him up near midfield here for 1st and 10.
To the air, Penix.
That's complete to DK Metcalf. And he gets us to the other side of midfield across the 45 before going out. Another good gain. That's now 35 yards combined on those last two plays.
At the 43-yard line.
Back-to-back good plays have them on the move on 1st down.
Now Penix.
And he's got his big tight end over the middle, complete. And the timeout comes in with 2 seconds remaining. So they can trot out the field goal unit for the try before we hit the lockers. So with 2 ticks left here in the half, on is the field goal unit.
A 32-yard attempt.
The kick by Fairbairn is good. And that will do it for this first half. Time for a break. We've hit halftime. 2 quarters down. 2 still remain. We step aside. This is the NFL on EA Sports. Forecast calling for more of the same. The rain set to continue as we are underway in the second half.
And we will not have a run back here as the second half starts with a touchback.
The 49er offense set to get this drive underway.
Now they've got the lead, CD. What do you expect from them in this second half?
Well, I like what they were able to do on the ground in the first half because they had a lot of success running the ball, and I certainly think we'll see more of that. But I'd keep an eye on that defense, and I think their coaches up in the box will do the exact same thing. If they start to see 1 or 2 guys start to creep towards the line of scrimmage, that'll be licensed to take some shots downfield.
So after the run for no gain, here's 2nd and 10. James. And he slips up past the 45 before being tackled.
130 yards for him on the ground now as he has been terrific here this afternoon.
We don't talk about it very often, but sometimes there's a dip in intensity when you start the second half, which can manifest itself in some sloppy tackling. And how about right there? He ran right through that weak tackle attempt.
They run it with James. Shoves him aside near the 35. And he's going to get this all the way down inside the 35. That good for 22 and a 1st down.
And he continues to pile up the yardage. That puts him over $150 now. And this defense has really had its problems trying to keep him contained.
So from Seahawk territory now, it's 1st and 10. Down at the 33. They'll keep it on the ground. It's James. And they will eventually get him down, but he's inside the 5 all the way to the 3. A big run there. 29 yards and a 1st.
Ready? 1st down. 1st and goal at the 3-yard line.
They'll throw with Penix.
And he'll be hit as he releases it, and that'll fall incomplete.
I think he had to unload that one before he wanted to. He was right up in his grill. I think he was a dentist there without a license, don't you?
Just not enough time for the play to develop. Just lucky it wasn't a fumble, really. They'll go again from the 3 here on 2nd and goal.
Ready? 18 Cardinal, 18.
James going to be hit and met at the line of scrimmage. They get him down at the 3.
It'll go as no gain on the play, and now they're looking at a 3rd and goal. So stuff for no gain on 2nd down brings up a pretty interesting 3rd from this distance.
I'm throwing the ball, and I'm not even thinking about play pass. I'm going to let them know right away I'm throwing it, but I'm probably giving my quarterback some room, sprint him out to one side or the other, and give him an opportunity. If it breaks down, he can take off and run for it.
Looking end zone, but it's incomplete. So they opted to pass for it on 3rd and goal. Let's see what they do on 4th and goal.
Well, I think they threw it with the idea that if they didn't get it, they would go for it on 4th and goal. So they've got another play in their pocket. They're going to have to call it right now. No field goal here.
The kick by Fairbairn is good. So he's been automatic to this point of the season, and he connects on the field goal there.
And what a luxury it is to have a kicker you can depend upon, partner, because he hasn't missed all year long. Converts on that one as well. And kudos to you. You didn't jinx him.
And they'll start this drive just across the 30. Pretty nice work on the return. Coming to the line here to begin their next drive, the Seahawks offense. And their deficit a little wider now than it was at halftime following the field goal a moment ago.
But the goal is still the same because you know they want to come out, establish a rhythm in the second half, and get going. Make no mistake about it, though. Kicking field goals, not in their game plan. They need to get the ball in the end zone.
So one play, and they're already just shy of midfield.
Ready.
Up the middle, Achane.
Trying to run inside, but nothing there. Credit him with a 1-yard gain there to make it 2nd and 9.
Oh, there's plenty of traffic waiting for him up the middle. But give him credit, he tried barreling through anywhere. They're fortunate to get a yard out of that one.
2nd and 9 now.
They'll swing this out wide. Here's Achane.
As a defense, you're more balanced when you're in zone coverage because you're able to keep your eyes on the quarterback and see the play develop in front of you. They're able to keep the quick pass in front of them and stop it right at the line of scrimmage.
From the midfield strike, they'll look to throw. And he's going to be intercepted a 3rd time. And the Niners are in great shape here as they take over at their 46-yard line. Boy, so another interception, CD, and it feels like he's starting to unravel a little bit.
And as you would expect, still a work in progress here in his 2nd season. He has to start ironing out some of these mistakes, though, because now his head coach, his offensive coaches, they have to evaluate whether you keep playing him and let him work through it, or you start thinking about going to his backup.
No gain on the play. It'll be 2nd down.
As usual, the hallmark of a good run defense, linebackers making plays near the line of scrimmage. Absolutely nowhere to run there.
Straight ahead with Hubbard.
And they'll get this just to the 47. 1-yard gain.
Sometimes your philosophies get challenged at times you don't want them to. They did try to stick to the running game on the first 2 plays. Didn't amount to much.
And now facing a 3rd and long at the outset of this drive.
They'll come up now 3rd and 9. And looking to throw, Penix.
That's caught inside the 20. Touchdown, 49ers.
Chuba Hubbard,
52 yards.
and the 49ers are able to extend their lead.
Fairbairn now to add the extra point. And that'll make this a 3-score game as the lead moves to 17.
Niners 27, Seahawks 10.
The 49ers ready to kick it away, and here we go. And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback.
At their own 35-yard line.
Here's the Seattle offense ready to get this drive underway.
I kind of feel like they've reached a do-or-die point in this game, Charles. If they're going to try to pull off an impressive comeback, it has to start right here, right now.
Yeah, now they've got a final chance to get out of this situation, but they also understand they've got to move the ball and move it fast. In addition, they need to save as much time so they can get 2 more possessions.
Olave over the middle. He'll get only 3 there, so it leaves him with a 3rd and 7 ahead.
It's a gain of 3. And this is 3rd down.
Here we go. Shot. Let's go.
They're going to look to throw.
He'll dump this off to Achane.
And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory. It's a gain of 12, first down Seahawks.
And that's the kind of play this offense needs to maybe kick them into gear a little bit. They've been stuck in neutral much of the game. Perhaps that can give them a little bit of confidence that big plays are out there.
Now a fake on the jet sweep, and they'll instead run up the middle. And some solid footwork there as he'll take this down to about the 38. 57 yards rushing for him now on what was his 10th carry of the ball game.
How many times do we say in this game that speed kills, and it does it in so many different ways? In this case, you got a back who's quick and shifty, can make moves, make people miss, but also gets to and through a hole before it can close down. That's some of the benefits of that speed, not just outrunning people in the secondary. That led to a really nice game.
And he's got this down almost to the 20 before he's dropped. Another nice gain, 16 yards there, and a first down again.
16 yards. First down, Seattle.
Go. Ready.
He'll drop to throw.
He finds Smith and Jigba.
So give him 5 yards there on the pitch and catch, and it's second down.
It's a gain of 5. Brings up 2nd and 5 at the Niners' 17-yard line.
Let's go.
Now a first carry here for the running back. And he stopped immediately there. They'll say no gain on the play there, and now it'll be 3rd down. 3 quarters in the books. We'll return with more after this. This is the NFL, and it's on EA Sports. The Seahawks on 3rd down. They're at 50%, 4 for 8. This will be 3rd and 5.
18 Cardinal, 18 Cardinal.
Out of the gun, here's a give to Achane.
And they're going to lose some on this play. Being knocked back to the 18. A loss of a yard, and it brings up 4th.
Let's go now.
Got to try it here. He's back to throw.
He's got his target. That's complete. And the Seahawks are going to have 1st and goal as they try to finish off this drive with 6 points.
Felt compelled to go for it there on 4th down, trailing in the 4th quarter. They got it done.
And there's always a lot of pressure on a 4th down call. Doesn't matter the distance. You still have to get it done, as you noted, and they did.
Ready.
Now a play fake here on 1st down. And a quick throw here, that's complete. And a minuscule gain of maybe a yard from the 6 to the 5.
Well, offensively, that's the mismatch that you want. You want to force a linebacker to try and cover your back out of the backfield, out in some open space. But linebackers nowadays...
4 yards on the touchdown grab.
And the Seahawks have got it back to a 2-score game here in the 4th. So a little bit of a letdown there defensively. I mean, look, you're still 2 scores to the good, CD, but things may be a little more uncomfortable than they had hoped.
Yeah, if you kept them at the end zone there, this game's over. You've locked the door on them. Instead, it's still open a little bit, and they've got a puncher's chance.
17.
The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. And they will not get a chance to return this one. It's through the back of the end zone for a touchback.
35-yard line.
The San Francisco offense ready to start their next drive. Now, there are 2 scores on the plus side. Still time here in this fourth quarter, but maybe you start thinking about playing keep away?
Yeah, I think here's the situation. You're not thinking touchdowns anymore. You're just thinking first downs. To keep up with your theme there, playing keep away, first downs, they can't touch the ball.
And for the defense, this is a spot where you don't want to totally sell out to stop the run, but you do have a pretty good idea of what you're going to see. And that's good work right there to keep them in check on that first down carry.
Now a handoff up the middle. It's James. And some room to work.
And he's going to be ridden out of bounds down inside the 25. Well, penalties don't usually hurt as much as that one does. That is a monster gain wiped out by the flag.
And you and I both know that an offense only gets a couple of those big moments in a normal game. You've got to take advantage of them. And when you give one away because of an avoidable penalty, that's a major disadvantage. Just steals away every bit of momentum you just generated with that play.
Up the middle they go. James. And for one of the few times here today, this run's not going to go anywhere. Call it no gain there, and it brings forth a 3rd and long. Run blitz there defensively, something we might see more of here in the fourth quarter.
I think we'll see a lot of it, and the difference between that and a pass blitz, you're just trying to get to the quarterback. You're trying to scheme someone open who will get to the QB and make sure he gets on the ground. In a run blitz, you're actually trying to cover up gaps, trying to cover up holes so they can't run the football.
Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw.
Now Pennett's going to hold on to it.
A hit as he throws there, incomplete. Critical play in this football game, because if they pick up the first there, that clock keeps rolling.
Has to be a little frustrating for them because they know that they pick up a first down there and continue to eat away at the clock, really increases their chances of closing this one out. Now they're likely going to have to give the football up and sweat it out on the sideline.
There goes a 42, making a 43-yard punt, 6 on the return. And it'll be Seahawk football, 1st and 10. Coming to the line here to begin their next drive, the Seahawks offense. Well, still a long way to go, but trending upward. They scored the last time out, you remember. Then their defense forced the punt. Now they try to inch closer, but still ultimately down 2 scores in the final quarter. Give them 4 yards there on the first down keeper.
It'd be hard to say that a defense wouldn't be ready for a first down run. When you can gain that kind of yardage against a defense that's really kind of geared to stop that play, your confidence has to rise, and now you've actually opened up your playbook. If you want to throw the ball now for play action, you're good to go.
2nd and 6. Smith and Jigba with the grab. They call his number again. It's his 6th catch and a first down.
This possession means so much for them. They've got to focus on this drive and find a way to make this a one-possession game. Got to get a score.
Yeah, so good with a field goal. Don't necessarily need a touchdown. Back to throw now on first down.
He completes it to Olave.
And he's going to get this down to the 35-yard line. That one goes for 24 yards. You cannot write these guys off just yet, not with a quarterback like that under center.
You mean it actually crossed your mind with him running the team that you could actually maybe write this game off?
Not yet.
Not a chance. Not with him. We've seen it too many times.
So from inside Niner territory now, this is 1st and 10 at the 35-yard line.
Option handoff now to Achane.
And boy, this defense again really making things tough on him as they stop him for no gain.
Just not a whole lot of room to operate there on that carry.
No, not at all. They did a really nice job staying in their proper places and not allowing any lanes to open up.
From the 35, here's a 2nd and 9. Now a toss right side. H.M. with it.
And the second wave of tacklers is going to get him as they stop him behind the line. That's going to go down as a loss of 5, and it brings up 3rd down.
Going to need a crafty play call here. 14 yards is what they need to try to convert this thing.
Out of the gun now on 3rd down. Over the middle, it's complete. And this will move the chains again as the tackle's going to be made at the 49ers' 25-yard line.
All 3 timeouts plus the 2-minute warning. Here's 1st and 10.
And this is intercepted, and that should do it.
Picked up by Andre Cisco. And the 49ers are going to get the football here as the ball will come out to the 20. Well, field goals probably aren't going to cut it at this point. This was touchdown or bust, and unfortunately for them, it turned out to be bust.
Yeah, they're feeling like they've got to force the issue here. Maybe take some chances they wouldn't have earlier in the game. But give credit to this defense. They've really stood tall throughout, and they come up with the interception in the end zone.
And he'll take this to the other side of midfield before going out of bounds. So the line of scrimmage moves all the way across the 50 now as they come up 1st and 10.
70 Timberwolves.
They'll keep it on the ground. It's James. And I think this defense knew what was coming as he is smothered behind the line.
It's a loss of 2.
2 yards the loss, 2nd and 12.
At the 49-yard line.
Bison, 60 Bison. Come on. Set, chat, Viking 18. Set, hurt.
Now a handoff up the middle. It's James. And he'll get this down only to about the 46.
The recipe's pretty simple, I think, right? Just give your superstar the ball, continue to feed him.
Yeah, don't overthink this one, right? Make sure he's touching the football, but you're also counting on his intelligence in playing the game as well. If it's not there, don't force the run. Just make sure you hang on to the football and keep the clock ticking.
And he will have a Niners 1st down, and that ought to be the one that seals the victory. 226 yards rushing for him now on 17 carries.
1st and 10 at the 34-yard line.
Set. Hawk 70, Hawk 70.
So the victory here for San Francisco. And we talk so much about the turnover battle, determining who wins, who loses. This game, no exception.